Hello, welcome. We have the clear screen, the light, the semi nice setup. Hi everyone, I'm Amber. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be reviewing The Little Mermaid. This movie, the cartoon I loved growing up with. I used to wish I was a mermaid, and I never understood why Ariel wanted to be part of my world. And as I grew up, I was just like feeling that even more and more. And then the song Part of Your World, when then she's like, where they don't reprimand your daughters, I'm like, girl, you have no idea. Like, it's the same up there too. But I did really like this movie. I will say that it was very much a carbon copy of the original, but there was a few new scenes that I really appreciated that made it, different enough. Where it was a new movie in certain senses. It wasn't like The Lion King where it was just like the exact same thing. Um, but yeah, I really thought it was a cute movie. I did not really mind Scuttle's sex change. Or the song that people like were bashing on. It kind of fit with the mood and the groove, and like things are like, obviously becoming more current in like even show revivals and movie revivals and redos. So I thought that it was fine. Like the terminology that Aquafina used, maybe that was she was directed to use. I don't understand what scuttlebutt was, but I mean, I knew what it was, but I'm like, why? But why? Couldn't we just like use another? I don't. If she hadn't used it before, I don't see a reason why to use it in the song. It could have been just another word. Um, but Sebastian rapping was pretty good. I didn't have a problem with it. What I did have a problem with was why they took away her recollection of the kiss. Sorry, Ursula. Like, she knew in the first movie and she still didn't get it. Like, I don't see what the big deal was. And it kind of felt like she would like fall asleep or just kind of be like, whenever like it was mentioned, and I'm like, if you like the guy, like you're gonna know that like you want to kiss him, um and I like how they did make her seem like, wait, what? I like him? Like, she wasn't, like, aware of, like, what she was feeling. I thought that was really nicely done. Um, but yeah, like, that was just a little too much. Like, I don't know. Um, but another question was if Trident banished Ursula down in this cavern, whatever, how is she, like, she mentioned she could never get out. She was banished there for like what, 15 years, she said. And then she like changed her body, and then she was able to like come out. Like, that didn't make sense to me. In the movie it makes sense because she kind of just lives there. With her being Trident's younger sister now. I thought it was great. I've seen so many fan fictions where that was done, and I'm like, yeah, I believe it. How exactly you became an octopus in this movie, because there's like all these theories, was not explained, but there you go. Um, so yeah, how she became Vanessa, I, 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 I mean, I don't know how she got up there. Um, I did like that Vanessa was a little bit more vocal in this movie. She kind of had a little bit, like, she was talking with people and like interacting with them, so it kind of made it a little bit more like not believable, but it was like a different like level and element to her. And then uh Ariel's sisters being like so many different races. I know that people have like touched on it and like have their different ideas about it. I think what it was is just like they are like, and he really like emphasized this. Like, the movie did explain it, where they went to like different parts of the ocean. They were like kind of like in charge of different parts of the ocean. So I don't know like if skin color has anything to do with like being a mermaid. It just kind of is like you are what you are. And it kind of reminds me of like what they did with Siren with her sister, like being someone who wasn't the same race as Rin. If you've seen that show, I'm so sad that they canceled it. And it just kind of was what it was. So they're mermaids. They're a different species. Like it is what it is. But Eric's adoption was kind of new. So it kind of like lends more to like speculation and theories and maybe second movie, we don't know. Uh what have they done a revival of a second movie? Or done a second movie? I don't think they have. Um but yeah, he was like found after a shipwreck and they took him in, and to me, once I saw his mom, and she was a woman of color, like I don't know if like they did that to have her as a woman of color when, Halle Berry was like this huge representation of that already. And so were like all the diverse skin colors and individuals from different cultures and skin types. Like, I don't know if his mom being of a different race was like something that was tied into that. And so they just said he was adopted. In that case, like, Eric could have been a different race for all I cared, but I don't know why they made him adopted, but he was. I can just see all these different theories like bubbling up from this, like how the queen could be Ariel's mom, or how, because she was kind of like not really surprised about Ariel. Like she kind of was just like, oh, she's a fish. But like it was kind of like she knew about the Mer Kingdom, and she kind of mentioned like the gods of the sea or the sea creatures are like mad at us or whatever. So she kind of knew, it felt like. And then like she would kind of look at Eric, and I'm like, is Eric from there? Like I don't know what's going on here. So I don't know. It just kind of was what it was, to be determined. Maybe not. Maybe it's just there to make us crazy like Disney does. Um, Flounder's eyes were bulging out of his head, and I couldn't get over it. And he was not the type of fish that he should have been. So I don't even understand. And then Sebastian with the I can't. Scuttle was the most normal looking thing. Like I couldn't. That being said, Sebastian talking, and like he was the best, like one of the best characters, I think. He just kind of made everything just like how he does in the movie. You just want to always be around Sebastian. It's like one of those side characters who are just like, yes, have him in the scene because he just brings me joy. And I I don't understand how I didn't understand this when I was a kid, and I don't understand it anymore now. How does Ariel still understand him when she is human? I do not know, but she understands them. But then there's that one scene in Kiss the Girl where obviously Eric is hearing him, so maybe he can talk to him. I don't know. We've never seen this, so it is what it is. I thought it was just kind of something that stood with her, but then she lost her mermaid abilities. It was very clear by Ursula telling her that, so therefore she wouldn't be able to understand them. I don't know. And then she was at the bottom of the ocean, and they turned her human, and she just swam up. Like, first of all, girls never used legs before. How does she know how to swim with the legs? Like, she couldn't even walk. And like in the original, it was Sebastian and Flounder helping her up. Like, she would not be able to breathe, like going all the way up there. Like, I'm sorry. And then the way that, like, if she's human, even scuba divers, they have to like stay at a certain point for their like body to adjust and everything. She just went straight up, and it was just like, and then she wasn't even walking, and then in the next scene she was walking and she was running, and it was just like, what is happening? I loved the part of your world scene, and I do think that Halle Berry has great pipes. The only thing was, I felt like it was spoken in a lot of parts and very slowed down. And they didn't even like adjust it to her voice, or maybe she was doing that on purpose. That it kind of didn't go in some parts. Um, and I just didn't feel the oomph from that song like I wanted to. And then like the part that they showed on the trailer was like amazing, like she was doing riffs and everything. She's an amazing singer. I just feel like that song could have been tweaked a little bit for her voice if she couldn't exactly hit those notes. Um, but I did appreciate that like she was like singing more in other parts. She had like a lot of like internal singing, which I thought was really cool because like we wanted to kind of see like what she was thinking. Obviously, we could see like facial expressions and like you're telling her story, but like her singing about like her touching the fire and this and that and like not being able to walk and how does she know about gravity? I don't even know. And then her singing in Under the Sea was really cute. Though she kind of seemed like she was like happy about the ocean. Like this is the thing. I felt like this in this movie. There was this really big part of her that ended up loving the ocean, and she didn't want to leave it in some sense. At the end, when she was like longing for the ocean, she was gonna miss it and everything. And then in that song, like she was like realizing, oh my goodness, like this is my home and everything. But obviously, she still wanted to be up with the humans. And so if this was a remake, I would have been like, okay, hey, let's do something different where she can choose to be a mermaid whenever she wants. Like, I don't know. I thought that would have been cool. Um, there was a manatee in Under the Sea, and I'm like, I'm not sure where the manatee came from, but okay. All the scenes with Max were adorable. Like, Max was just like, and her like petting him and him recognizing her, like, it was just so cute. It was so cute. Um, and then they also have like Prince Eric when Vanessa comes, like not really sure why he's doing what he's doing. And for me, when he was like away, I would if I were Vanessa, I would want to keep him like near me at all times. But like when he's away from Vanessa and he's talking to the other individual, it's like it's clear that he doesn't know what he's doing. And wouldn't that like break the spell? Like what exactly is the spell? Um, and the whole scene with Ursula and her singing Poor Unfortunate Souls, like I thought it was really well done. It was catchy, but again, I felt it could have been tweaked for her voice. I thought that like they chose a perfect actress for it. But I kept seeing her when I saw Ursula. I didn't see Ursula, and I was just like, I just, but I enjoyed it. And so then like her whole scene was beautifully done. I thought the colors were visually beautiful. Ariel's tail was amazingly beautiful. There was just a lot of bright colors and purples and pinks and shimmers, and it was just really really pretty. And then I liked how they like kind of changed it where like Ariel had to kind of like pick out one of her scales and like kind of sign in blood in a way. That was kind of different. It was kind of morbid, and then Triton actually dying and not turning into one of those little squishy things was also very morbid. And I was just like, oh my goodness, this is it. Triton dies and the Ariel becomes queen of the ocean, and that's it. That's it. Um, I just thought that it was a very cute movie, and I liked what they added. Um, there were just some things that I'm like, okay, that doesn't make sense, but overall, I had fun with it. I enjoyed it. When Under the Sea started playing, I was jamming. I was good. Um, and then some of the songs had like words added to it. The whole ending where like all the mermaids are there and like sitting with the humans and stuff, like that was beautiful. And then Ariel's like crying because she like connected these two worlds and everything. And then the mom again, like, oh, our two worlds. She knew something. I'm just saying, but like it just kind of reminded me of like that one scene in The Little Mermaid 2 where they're like kind of like all just chilling together in the ocean. I'm just like, this is beautiful. Like this is complete harmony to me. And now I'm just excited to see if they do a number 2 and if we have a melody, because I feel like that movie has been like pushed in a drawer and lock and key and nobody ever like talks about it anymore. And I'm just like, this was a great movie. We need this to be made again or revisited or something. I also like that they touched on like Ariel's mom and like what happened to her. We didn't know what happened to her until they like made that little mini movie and they were like, "Oh, we can see what happened." And then I would have liked like Trident to like, cuz if this is more modernized and where it's not the cartoon, like Trident like talk to Eric and get to know him a little bit more. That would have been nice. Um and I just get the feeling that Ariel's sisters just never really knew her in the movie or in the remake. Like, I just you don't know her. Like you're like Ariel, and you don't know Ariel. Sorry. And then there's just like a lot of like classic scenes where like Ursula was like rising out of the water and they were like separated by her crown and like she looked like something else up there. But like I thought that it was really well done, that it wasn't just kind of like big Ursula. She looked like evilish and everything. Um, well, like she looked un Ursula like in a lot of different ways and more sort of like this monster. And that was really cool. But then like it was just a lot of classic things that they like redid and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, like that was done well." Um and then her like an Ariel jumping, it wasn't like on the boat, jumping from the castle all the way down into the water like was insane. I don't know how Eric found them because like you can't just look down and be like, where are they? It's a giant ocean. But he found them. I would have made more sense, I think, if they were in the boat and he knew exactly where they were at. Him holding her, I've seen so many TikToks about this scene where he just like does not care if she's a mermaid. He's just like, yes, I love you. And I'm like, yes. Um, I I thought that the Kingdom of Atlantica, I think, could have like been a little bit more grand. We just saw like the sisters and the dad. Like where were all the other mer people? We kind of saw a few of them in the beginning, but like those were the sisters, I think. I don't know. But like I wanted to see this big beautiful kingdom. And it just didn't happen. And then Eric's like castle, like they don't have a lot of like people visiting or they don't go out because there's a lot of shipwrecks because I guess of their location or whatever. Um but then how do they get food and stuff? Do they just like fish? But like Eric wants to be like this person who is much more one of the people and like goes out there and like forms networks and everything. So much appreciated, Eric. And I think that yeah, there was just so many scenes that I thought we saw in our childhood that were done very well. But that's it for my review. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you real soon. Bye!